Would you buy a stigmatized property?
I would.
I feel like Jen and Logue should handle this question.
Would I buy a grow up nowadays? It's
No.
not the same. Well, I still would actually, because it's not as big of a deal anymore. Like,
Well, yeah. I mean, honestly, if I had no intention of selling it anytime soon, I probably wouldn't care. But if I had like intention of selling it, I wouldn't, because the headaches to get through it were substantial.
the headaches but also we would have done it differently. We would have held on to that property, kept it as a rental, and sold it later on when
Or never.
because when somebody hears it was a grow up 62 years ago,
Yeah.
they're not as concerned about that. And for the record, we weren't the ones running the grow up, but yeah, we bought a
Can take
house
credit
that
for
was formerly a grow up.
But I feel like with grow up, that's something where it's like, it's a reason, like for insurance, things like that, actually structure of the home, like all the moisture, like there's a reason. What about like stigma properties, like someone died in the home?
That was my follow-up.
Or
Was
like,
what if someone was murdered in the home?
Okay, well, that was going to
So
say,
yeah,
people die in houses all the time.
I have shown a house that was murder-suicide, happened in the garage, not even in the house. There were still stains in the concrete in the garage. Like, I don't know that I could mentally get over it in a
kinda
situation like
freaks me out
that.
a bit.
Yeah.
I could not.
I think I
could not either.
You think you could?
There's houses that like don't have that stigma attached, and I walk in and I get the like
Yeah,
weird
true.
feeling
True.
that I wouldn't buy. But like if I knew like something had happened in the garage and I loved the house, like I think I would still buy it.
Good for you.
You wouldn't be freaked out at all.
What if
don't
there's
think
like a
so.
loud bang in
I was
the
gonna
middle
say
of the night?
like ghosts freak me out.
Okay. My mind doesn't go to ghosts, but I just
I
would
don't-
constantly be thinking about it. I couldn't get over it mentally, I don't think.
You'd be worried it was possessed?
No.
Oh.
Because, I'm not a believer.
Yeah.
That's what I mean. Like I don't think it would weird me out.
It wouldn't weird you out, but what would bother you about it then if you knew? Like,
I think my mind would just be constantly thinking about like how this person was murdered and is this murder gonna now show up at my house and do the same thing?
Oh, freaky, yeah.
yeah. Well, it's funny because like sometimes, I don't know if you guys have had this, but just a CMA I was doing this past week, the people were like, that house is going to be like our neighbors across the street. They're going to be going up again for sale soon. We call it the divorce house because everybody that's moved in 2 years later, they're divorced, moving out. And I'm like, okay, well, that could be a stigma too. If I knew it was the divorce house, would I want to move into it?
That's interesting.
That is interesting.
But that's
prove them wrong, divorce.
That's what all the neighbors call it, the divorce house.
Really?
And somebody moves in and they're like, "Aw, they seem like such a cute couple."
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, but that's what they call it.
That's funny.
I feel like too when people ask like, oh, did someone die in the home? Like if you're showing a house and it's like 1918, like yeah, maybe not these people, but someone at some point.
Probably.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
probably. Like you know.
I always hate that question because it's like, we don't think so, but
How
If
do
you
you
don't
know
know, you
when
don't
it's like
know.
12 owners?
Well,
Yeah.
well,
Yeah.
honestly, like 1918, like probably.
yeah,
Like
there were, yes, absolutely,
well, back then, like no one's going to the hot. Like
Yeah.
Yeah,
I guess you're
probably.
right, yeah.
yeah.
Sorry, I was still thinking about murder.
Yeah.
Died, different
Yeah.
than murdered.
The funny thing too is that like we live in like Winnipeg where things are relatively new. Like
Yes.
the oldest house you're gonna see is like 100 years old.
Yeah.
Maybe give or take a smidge.
Yeah.
But like if you were in like Europe, someone's died in your house.
Oh, yeah.
Right? Like I mean
Probably more than one person.
yeah, like these things have been around for hundreds of years. Like
Yeah.
someone's probably died here. So maybe it's just that we have a different mentality because it's just not something that's like it's
feel like-
more new here. I don't know.
The murder aspect is this, like,
Yeah.
what makes it a little,
I
adds another level.
I think murder and like murder suicide, maybe two different things. Like I don't know.
Yeah.
It wasn't an intrusion. Like break in. Like I don't know.
Will you at least humor me though and let me sage the place if you buy that house, Sam? Like I'll come over and I'll sage it for you.
Yeah.
But yeah, I would, but it depends on circumstance.
Yeah.
Murder, grow up, come on
Yeah.
my way.
Drug bust?
Yeah,
Sure.
Yeah.
It's so funny because it's really like, again, it's so house specific. Too,
Yes,
right?
that's
Like,
what I mean. Like I've been in houses that aren't stigmatized, but like I feel like something happened, like something
Yeah.
weird vibes here. Like I don't
Yeah.
like it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
But we've also like had listings where if you didn't know the neighbors, you wouldn't have known that someone had died in the house.
Yes.
Like we only knew because the neighbors knew.
The neighbors came and
right?
told
Yeah.
us, and we had to have a difficult discussion with the sellers after
Yeah.
that, which did lead to disclosing
Oh,
some
yeah.
things moving forward, because obviously whoever bought it was going to find out pretty darn fast.
From the neighbor, yeah.
Yeah, once the new owners took possession. So
It would depend on the case for me, but I'd say in most cases, probably yes.
okay.
I think it's also recent, right? Like if it's been in the news or like
Right.
like it's like
Yeah,
a little bit
true.
different, right? Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
but if someone died in it like 40 years ago, and you didn't know about it, like I mean,
Yeah.
someone could have died in our house. We don't know, right? Like you just don't know. But
4 years is still pretty recent. I'm talking like 20 maybe.
no, 40,
Then I
40,
could,
like
oh,
long
40.
time.
I think you said 4. Okay, yeah. I
4,
can get over that
yeah,
probably.
4 years, yeah, no problem. yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, really, that's probably the only major stigmatized
Yeah.
things you deal with, right? Like, I mean, grow-ups we don't
Drugs.
really deal with anymore because you just don't
Drugs.
see
Yeah.
them.
Drugs.
Drugs, like
That's
drugs.
true.
Yeah.
I did have clients that didn't buy a house because
Well,
there was a bus.
That's what I was
there.
thinking about, and
Yeah.
I remember the house, and I would have bought it.
I know, it was a
That wouldn't
beautiful
bother me
house.
either.
Yeah.
That wouldn't
Yeah.
bother me either.
But
not
yeah,
the
they
house
were
is sold.
Some of the
Eh?
other listings that we've had that like we know of something, I would have bought.
yeah.
But it's not the house's fault there was a degenerate living there.
True.
Yeah, right? And
Very
in that case,
true.
it wasn't drugs being grown, it was drugs
No.
being traded from.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But they were just paranoid that somebody might show up at their door.
Yeah,
Well,
which
that's
is
what I- that's where
valid.
mine- yeah,
That is
where
a
my
valid
mind
point.
goes.
Yeah.
Super silly anecdote, but when we owned our house on Vassar, which was a grow-up, we got a call like in the middle of the night from Medivan. If anybody remembers Medivan, they like would literally deliver prescription drugs.
Drugs to
It
your
was like
door.
a wrong number in the middle of the night, and I like
And he was like, I'm
lost
outside your
my
front
mind.
door. And Logan like went out and he's like, I don't see anybody, but they're out there somewhere. Like,
It was like, we're here with your drugs, and I was like, they're here with the drugs. like we've
shut it down.
We've shut it down. They're coming, Jen. Shut up, idiot. Go to bed.
but yeah, I like the level of vetting we had on that property because I can't say we've ever done an air quality test in this house.
No.
I can't say we've done half of the tests we did in that house just to feel comfortable living there.
Yeah, that's true.
I do feel like it might have been up there in terms of quality material in there. So, yeah.
Yeah, plus it was like a recent like era construction house, so it was like solid materials. We didn't have any like issues with moisture or anything, so
Yeah.
yeah.
Would have kept it. Would have kept it as a rental.
We also saw a house at one point that was growing mushrooms in the basement because it was so wet. But like literally mushrooms in the basement off the walls.
Coming out, yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, you never know.
Would you, Shayla? That's the
Not a
question.
murder house,
Oh no, okay.
because I get
Or
freaked.
ghosts.
I get freaked
That
out.
in- yeah.
Yeah. Like a grow up or drug house, that wouldn't really bother me.
I think about that big party that was thrown
Yes.
in a vacant house.
Oh, yes.
Oh,
I don't want to name area because
No, yeah,
people
yeah.
can figure it out.
It was fairly
But,
recent
like,
though.
Yeah.
Yeah,
There
that
were-
was.
There were people that were dragged into the bush and assaulted
Yeah.
and like that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
That house was trashed in the process. Like, how would I feel if I was the new owner of that house? Because it had already happened from when it was sold to
Yeah.
possession. It was
That was
already sold when then
crazy.
that party happened.
I remember you being like, I feel bad for the realtor.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
I, like,
Oh man.
Oh, that would have been rough.
yeah.
Yeah, I reached out to that realtor just to be like, hey, I'm sure you know about this already, but like there's some
Yeah.
rumblings, and they were like, yep, I know, and I am dealing with it today. And I was okay.
Yeah, that was tough.
But yeah, I don't know how I'd feel about buying that house after that. So
Yeah. Well, again, like in the news, I probably would still have. Yeah. But in the news, like very recent, very like everyone knows what happened. There was another
But, like,
one like
also
the new
down the
build.
line, like in 10 years,
Yeah, like
that point, I don't think I would
someone
care.
had a rager at my house.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd still be going through with my sage and all that energy out of there. Yeah, but yeah.
Or when I just got into the business, I know there was one, again, like I won't say the area, but like it was a new build. So it's like a new build, and as it was getting built, like a worker
Through a party?
died in the build.
Oh.
Like
I never heard about
while
it.
working on it?
Yeah, so like no one, I mean, someone would have owned it because it was
being
so,
built,
it was being
yeah.
built,
Yeah.
but like, yeah, then,
Right. Yeah,
It's tough.
yeah.
that is very tough.
And again, I only knew, not because I was a realtor, but because of the news. Like
Yeah.
I read in
Yeah.
the news, like, yeah.
For sure. Also, a reason to always Google the address as your final checks.
Yep.
And bring that. That was how the drug bust one came up for us.
Yeah.
Because I didn't find it any other way. Stigma away.